I've had a coaching and consulting business for 15 years, and I've had a successful one for about 10. And one of the biggest secrets to my success is using workshops to sell my coaching programs. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to plan a workshop to fill your coaching programs and avoid these awful mistakes, 7 deadly sins that I've made and learned about the hard way. One of the best ways that I've discovered over the last 15 years to fill all manner of coaching programs is to host workshops. Now, initially when I started this business back in 2007, I was hosting these workshops in person. And I was hosting them in person all the way up through the end of 2019. And then, of course, you and I both know what happened in early 2020, which shall remain unnamed in this video. But my last live workshop was not able to happen, and I had to move to a virtual format. So I am including virtual in this, although I personally still love a live in-person workshop. So the beauty of doing a workshop is that it makes selling into your programs, I think, a lot easier. I have not found a better way to develop quick trust and credibility with people than to be in front of a room, than to be on a stage, leading a workshop, leading a seminar, or leading a webinar. People immediately trust you more and find you more credible, thank goodness, just by virtue of you being up there. Now, of course, if you bomb it and you do a terrible job, it's not going to help very much. But assuming you're awesome at what you do, like I am, right? Because we're all awesome at what we do. Assuming you deliver an amazing presentation, an amazing workshop, people will want to buy something from you. So I'm not going to dive into all the different things to do to create and structure an amazing presentation. I do have other videos about that. I have hundreds of videos, so I invite you to start poking through my library. But what I am going to share on this video is the 7 biggest mistakes that I've made and that I've seen other people make when using workshops to sell their programs. So the first mistake, and the one that I did the worst and the longest of all the mistakes, is don't do a fire hose of information. Do not over-deliver content in a workshop. In my opinion, a great workshop or webinar is about 1 to 2 hours long, with my ideal workshop length being about 90 minutes. I feel like 90 minutes is the sweet spot to both deliver enough information, enough content for people to feel like they got their money's worth or they got their value, even if it's a free event, without overdoing it. Once you start hitting that 2-hour mark, I believe chances are you're giving too much information. And it's not that we're trying to manipulate people, because I know people do this. It's not that we're trying to say, oh, I'm going to hang back and hold back on information so that people have to buy more from me. That's not what we're doing here, although I know that that is a strategy. The reason we don't want to overdo it is because there's only so much transformation people can take all at once, especially the first time they're connecting with you. You want to make that initial transformation more bite-sized, or better yet, another better word for that is more integratable right away. And so it's something that can lead to a quick outcome, or ideally what you want to deliver is a big aha moment and enlighten people on one really important blind spot. And that all parts of the presentation lead to this one aha and this one big blind spot. So to give you an example, when I do a presentation, and in most of my videos on Facebook, not all, but a lot of them, the big blind spot, the big aha that I'm enlightening people on is that they need a big back-end business model for their coaching business. And if they want a big back-end business model, here's what it looks like. Here's what it can do for you. Here's how I've done it. And by the way, if you want me to work with you to do it, here's how you can work with me. So the first thing is not to do a big info dump, not to overgive information, but to focus on that one big piece of transformation that will have the biggest impact, whether they work with you or not, for the next step. The second, these are kind of out of order, by the way, I'm realizing. The second big thing is to not wait until the last minute to promote your workshop. This is something I did again and again and again. And I recommend giving yourself a nice long runway to promote, especially these days. People are so busy. And chances are the better clients, the people you really want to work with, are not just sitting at home waiting for your workshop to pop up so that they can sign up for it. They probably have stuff going on and things that they need to do. You know, the best clients are the ones that are probably overachievers and the ones that are committed to things and people want them around and they're inviting them to things. So my recommendation is to promote with a nice long advance notice. Maybe even send a save the date if you're not ready with your full-on website or your full-on information. Speaking of which, you don't actually need a full-on website or a brochure to promote and market and fill an event. I filled plenty of events just with a simple Eventbrite page. Note to self. Now, before I continue with the other 5 elements, 5 mistakes, I do want to invite you to take a minute and like this video, subscribe to my channel, maybe even drop me a comment below. Number 3, do not get hung up on brochures, websites, or marketing materials. Like I said, you can fill an event, you can promote an event using as simple a tool as Eventbrite. I had a client who, if she's watching this, she'll laugh, who called me in almost tears one day. Maybe she was in tears, and she was going to cancel her workshop. She was going to cancel her retreat because she could not get her brochure together. She just couldn't get it. It didn't look right. She didn't like it. Her designer wasn't understanding her. And of course, I was like, stop it. You don't need an effing brochure to sell your workshop. Just pick up the phone and start calling people and inviting people. And in fact, that's another big strategy that I used for years. I used to fill a women's success summit with hundreds of women, and almost all of them, not all of them, but lots of them, let's say, were me just picking up the phone and inviting them to enroll. Hey, so-and-so, I've got the Women's Success Summit coming up next weekend. I would love for you to be there. Are you planning on coming? If you are, here's the link to sign up. Just that was responsible for a huge portion of my signups. And if you're not willing to pick up the phone to get people into your workshop, I would put to you the question of, why not? Why are you resisting that? Is there something about your event that doesn't fully align? Number 4, don't skip your offer. I'm going to repeat that one. Don't skip your offer. In my opinion, the whole reason to have workshops is because you want to meet people that could enroll into your coaching programs, right? That's why you're here. That's why I'm here. So why is it that so many of us, and I include myself in this, want to skip the part where we make the offer? Well, it's because we're scared. We're scared of being rejected. We're scared of being judged. We're scared of people saying we're salesy. We're scared. And I don't know how many times in the early days I did not even make an offer at those events. I, honest to God, would say that there's at least 1 million, if not more, in lost revenues just from offers that I didn't make at my early retreats. I know. If I were my own client today, I would be slapping myself upside the head. Girl, make an offer. You got to make an offer. Number 5, don't plan to make your money on ticket sales. Make an offer. Right? The beauty of a retreat is that it opens up the opportunity for the bigger sale on the back end. So make the offer and do not expect to make money on the ticket sales. I personally, if I break even on my front end events, on my workshops, I'm thrilled. Number 6, this is a little personal. Don't fill the room with your friends and family. You might feel like it's better to have a full room full of non-prospects, people like your brother and your brother's wife and your mom and your dad, but I assure you it's better to have a smaller room and not have your family there. Why? Well, because we're a different person around our family than we are in leadership at the front of a room. Most of the time. I'm not going to say this is true for everybody, but I found this to be true for myself and for a lot of my clients, that it actually inhibits us to be our fullest, most self-expressed self when we're in front of people that know us from like the second grade. So I recommend filling the room. Friends are okay, especially friends that could buy from you. But anybody that's too close, that's going to later not have any misgivings about giving you constructive feedback, I would recommend not having them there. At least not at the beginning, at least not till you get really good at what you do. Now, I know that I said earlier to pick up the phone and call people, yes, but I'm saying to call your acquaintances, your friends, but not your super duper closest friends, but the people that know you, love you, trust you, and would be interested potentially in buying from you. Your network, build your network through networking, through chambers, through BNI, what have you, building a network, but not necessarily building on top of your family and your closest people. And then finally, be the leader. Do not let your attendees take over the event. You are in charge. You are the leader. I know you want to make people happy. I know you want to give people what they want. But a lot of times, especially in the coaching industry, in the coaching space, people don't know what they need. And they will try, some people will try to direct your event and will try to take control of your event. So maintain leadership of your event. You are in charge. If someone is interrupting you too much, have kindly and lovingly say, excuse me, please hang on until I'm done leading this event and then I'll open it up for questions. For example, there's all sorts of ways people might try to hijack your event from you, including other speakers, sponsors, attendees, what have you. And I recommend remembering and making sure to really settle into the embodiment of you as the leader of this event. I hope this was helpful for you. If you are interested in creating a workshop-driven, event-driven, coaching-driven business, then check out what I've got. This is what I do. I help people grow their coaching businesses, specifically by creating monthly recurring big back-end clients and opportunities. You can find out more at superstarbusinessbreakthrough.com. I look forward to meeting you.